Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Jack and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Jack's ability to understand and respond to his formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give here at school is a little tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Jack's going to come home with his very own training collar, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly tomorrow during your follow-up training session. Now, he's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper walking on the leash, and the command is Jack heel. Now, at this point, Jack has a job to do, and that is to maintain himself matching Fred's pace, keeping his shoulder even with Fred's left leg. And each time that Fred stops his feet, Jack has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for his next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command. Stay. And because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. This is a command that you can practice indoors as well as outdoors, and it helps to develop self-control and focus and maturity. When Fred returns back to him, he's going to walk all the way around him, returning all the way back to heel position where they started, and Jack remains seated until Fred gets all the way back to heel, and they take off walking again. So the heel position with the dog sitting, even with your left leg, is your starting and stopping point. Each time you return yourself, or he returns to that position, he expects to get another command. Nice automatic sit. And the stay, and you can lengthen out these sit stays. Start out at about 30 seconds and work all the way up to 3 minutes. This time, instead of returning to Jack, Fred is going to call him. So you use his name in a happy voice, and he should come right in and sit. Now, he's very exuberant about coming to you. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. We reward coming because it's such an important command. But you can see by how exuberantly he comes that you want to keep that going, but you don't want him to come and jump all over you. Now Fred's going to leave him in another sit-stay. And if you notice, Fred keeps a very low tone when he calls him because he comes like a rocket. Comes in and sits. That eliminates him coming and jumping. And they go back to heel. And it's always new for the dogs when they're out here with the camera and me talking, because they're not used to that. So this is live television. Now the next exercise we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a heel position. So with your dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. The long down stay you can practice as well, indoors as well as outdoors. You're going to lengthen it out from about 2 minutes all the way to 5 minutes. So this gives you something to work on once he gets home. When Fred returns back to him, he's going to walk all the way around him as an additional distraction, returning back to Jack's shoulders, and at this point, Jack expects to get another command. And we will demonstrate that down from a heel position again for you. And you're going to find that once you start working with him on a regular basis, that this is more tiresome than just playing with him, because he's engaging his brain. Down and stay. You go out to the end of your leash and you turn to face him, and in a very short period of time you're going to be able to drop that leash and walk away. but don't do it until we tell you to. This time Fred will call him in. And go back to heeling. I don't know what he thought, he had something stuck on his tail. Now the very last exercise that we're going to be demonstrating for you is your down from a distance. And this is probably the hardest exercise because you're not right next to the dog. So with him seated, you give him the stay command, you walk out to the end of your leash and you turn to face him. This is the only time that you will use your right hand to give the command, and you drop him into a down. And that was just as pretty as it could be. Couldn't have gotten any better. Now we have demonstrated for you your heel, your automatic sit, your sit stay, your down from a heel, your down from a distance, and the come. These are the exercises, and you're really going to have to drill him for the first couple days that he's home, so he knows that everything he learned at school is applicable at home. We've enjoyed having him. He's a sweet little dog. He's got a ton of energy. And thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.